But this just takes the cake. I cannot believe that so many people are falling for this bullshit. The ALS nonsense. I did literally 30 minutes, no more. I said I'm going to do 30 minutes of investigation on the cure for ALS, the symptoms of ALS, not the stuff that we're told, but the real stuff that no one is talking about. And I know Frank's going to chime in on this because he's quickly probably Googling ALS and salt. Right, Frank?
I am. Sprung.
So, now, if you've never heard us before...
Excuse me, hey, Frank, look at SBS News because there's something about somebody changed it to, instead of Ice Bucket Challenge, it's now Manure Challenge. There.
Nice.
So, I'm going to post a couple links in the companion notes if you're listening to me from my website at truthin7minutes.com. You can be a Vault investor. Click on the link that says Vault, and you can get all of my companion notes to what I'm about to talk about, not only for this particular show, but from all the shows, the over 1,000 hours that we've done since 2008. In fact, we're coming up on the anniversary of that. That would be the 6-year anniversary coming up on September 11th. So I'm going to post a couple of links. I'm going to post the No Agenda and the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge scam. That is where Adam Curry and John C. Dvorak have a very entertaining show where they talk about much about the same things that we do. I think we go a little bit deeper than they do. But they do it in a very entertaining way, and it's definitely worth listening to. And so I'm going to post that link. Also, I'm going to post a link of Bill Gates taking the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. And if you look at the video, and if you look at it very carefully, it gives the idea that Bill Gates is this brilliant guy, and he's not. I've listened to him at length. He's not exactly the sharpest axe in the shed, per se. Neither is Warren Buffett, by the way. It will show Bill Gates pretending to sketch out this contraption that will dump ice water onto his head. And that was all done without his help, I guarantee it.
And don't forget, he welds like a little girl.
Oh, so you saw this then?
Yeah, he's welding like he's never held a torch in his hand in his life.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then there's a video, every celebrity that, over 150 celebrities that have done the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. So I have a link to that. It just never ends. And then we have the, let me post this. This is the start of the scam for everyone to take a look at.
Look, I must admit I'm a bit of a disadvantage because I've never really tried to work out what ALS is. I'm reading it and I'm kind of in disbelief. Are we saying that it's this disease that affects the spinal column? Is that?
Well, that's interesting you say that because if you go to the post the ALSA.org link, they kind of, much like all charity scams, and this is a whopper of a charity scam, just like muscular dystrophy. Come on, Jerry Lewis, you've raised billions of dollars and there's no cure. If you go to, it's Lou Gehrig's disease. I forget what ALS stands for. Let's look that up.
So everyone is like me. We don't know what it is. It's something that affects the spinal column, apparently.
Right. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, often referred to as ALS, referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects nerve cells in the brain. They never talk about the spinal cord. And here's what I found out in literally 30 minutes of investigation. I'm going to show you how you can do your own investigation, and you don't need to rely on experts and gurus and doctors and anything. You can do this all on your own. You can find the cure, and I said the cure word. You're not supposed to say cure because you can get sued for saying you've got a cure for something, but I don't fucking care. You can type in ALS natural cure, muscular dystrophy natural cure, AIDS, natural cure, acne, natural cure. And you're going to find a handful of probably good sites and a shitload of sites that are going to spin you off into la la land and give you ideas that'll probably make your acne or your AIDS or your cancer even worse, right? But what I do is I look at the comment section. That's my secret. And I look for patterns. And here's the pattern that I found in a lot of the cases. Remember, this took 30 minutes, from 7:30 till 8 tonight, an hour before we did this. Here's what I found. 8 out of every 10 ALS deaths showed a, quote, virus in the horns of the spinal vertebrae. Frank, what does that mean?
Run it past me one more time, and I'll see if I can...
Virus in the horns of the spinal vertebrae.
No, I don't know what the horns of the spinal vertebrae is.
Okay.
I don't doubt if anyone really knows what a virus is either, by the way.
That is correct. So I don't take that. I take that as maybe a distraction. But one thing that I've seen throughout, and this reminds me of why women get miscarriages. Because again, when you look at the comment section of people where the people are talking about this, you'll start to see patterns. And then you'll start to see the commenters realize that they're part of a nefarious conspiracy, might I say. And they will actually start saying, oh my God, I got this too. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my God, they're purposely trying to kill our babies. And the same thing happened with miscarriages, was that over 80% of the people in the comment section got the flu jab the day before. Actually, it was 4 days before. Unbelievable. So they're starting to see this. Oh my God, I got the flu jab 4 days ago and I had a miscarriage. Oh my God, me too. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And we're seeing the same shenanigans happening with ALS. The vast majority of people who are caring for... Frank just sent me something. Should I look at that, Frank?
No, I'll come back to it, but
okay.
Carry on.
The vast majority of the people who comment who either have ALS symptoms, and we're told there are 10,000 people who have ALS. That has to be a whopper of a lie. There is no way just 10,000 people have this.
Well, it's surely the greatest single problem facing mankind today.
Why is that?
Well, it's because it's on Facebook.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Thank you for that, Frank. So there's more than 10,000 people who have this. And the same pattern comes up. I just got the flu jab. My dad just got the flu jab. My mom just got the flu jab. Isn't that something? And then there's another pattern, and that is medications. Isn't it interesting that if you look at the side effects of almost any medication, and I know sounding like a broken record to regular listeners, you'll see that the side effects are deplorable. How you want to release anxiety, but you're going to have this, that, and that possibly go wrong with you. Really? To remove anxiety, I'm going to have 25 other things that could possibly happen to me? And what all the commenters found was that when you mix the combination of diabetes medication with lowering your cholesterol medication, you're fucked with ALS. Can I say it any more simply? Don't take diabetes medication and don't take cholesterol medication at the same time. In fact, don't take any medications at all. 99% of people I know do not need any medications. Is there anyone on this call, and admit it if you do, is there a single person on this call that takes a medication?
I'm not exactly healthy right now, but I'm not taking any of the medications.
Okay. Robert?
Medicinal marijuana only.
I don't take any medications, and I haven't for quite a bit of years. I haven't gone to the doctor either. I'm perfectly fine.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, as far as I know, I mean, nothing hurts. Everything's working fine. I don't complain about it, anything.
And Frank, you're the last one. I'm assuming you're on no medications, right?
No, I'm not on any medication.
Isn't that interesting? Is this just coincidence that, and all of you, I mean, now Jeremy just said he had some health issues. We should probably talk about that. But I'm like in amazing health now that I've followed What I know is best practices plus what I've learned from Frank, and I'm sure he's going to chime in about the significant increase, the uptake in salt ingestion, which I believe is the one thing that everyone can do to drastically improve their life. I know we've been told that you need to lower it. That's just another whopper of a lie. But besides what Jeremy's saying, he had some health issues. Does anyone else have any health issues? Robert?
No, the only thing, my knee bothers me every now and then, but now that I'm not doing heavy repair, I rarely ever feel anything bad on my knee. It's working fine.
And Jim is 115 years old. I'm sorry. I meant to say Frank. Frank, you're 115 years old. 55 years old. And you're...
I am not going to confess to having any illness, Marcus.
Well, I don't know what that means.
I'm not going to confess. I'm just joking. The way you were going about it, I just thought you must confess your illnesses.
So you honestly, you have nothing. You're
No.
You always tell me that you are regularly beating. You like to play badminton. That you're regularly beating people who are half your age.
Yes, except in the last few weeks, that now that they've become salt eaters, I've lost my edge.
Oh, why'd you open your mouth?
It's crazy, wasn't it?
Yes, that is crazy. Jim, are good health?
Yeah, sound as a pound.
I didn't ask Jai if he was off medications.
Oh, no, mate. The occasional vitamin, recreational use of different stuff. But other than that, just for fun, mate.
Yeah. And how do you feel? Are you sick?
No. I got over a cold a couple of weeks ago with an arse ton of vitamin C and shit like that, echinacea. But actual medications, no.
So none of us contribute to the allopathic Western medicine bullshit.
Yeah, I drink a lot.
You drink a lot. Of what?
Beer, wine.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that was allopathic medicine, though. Is that something new that the doctors are now pushing?
Oh, I thought it always was.
I did not know that.
No, it's how we cope, isn't
it? You know how I cope? I won't go there. Anyway, let's get back to the rant.
Now, so the rant, the bit that I wanted to contribute to your rant, Marcus, is that ALS causes a problem with neurons. So the thing that I've posted is a review of the science of neurons and electron microscopy from a fellow called Harold Hillman.
Okay.
Which explains a lot of the nonsense that goes on in modern neurobiology today.
Okay, so what's the punchline from that article?
Well, the punchline is, first of all, the punchline is that people don't really understand what neurons are. They're not really what we're told they are. Mm-hmm. So first of all, the whole thing about having research and spending money on following almost certainly a blind alley is made clear once you read this article.
Okay.
So the whole idea of how neurons work is he explains the craziness. So for example, he says, in denying the existence of anatomical synapses but not neuromuscular junctions, I'm not saying there is no electrical signal where the nerves approximate to each other, but I am asserting that the microscopic location of the tip of the micropipette is not accurate enough to say for certain precisely where it is. If synapses and synaptic clefts do not exist in life, the chemical hypothesis of transmission is thrown into doubt. This is beyond the present discussion, but I've examined it extensively, and my reasons for rejecting it are that it contains too many unprovable assumptions and that most of the evidence for it is collected from experiments on neuromuscular junctions, which are nowadays assumed to operate by the same mechanisms as synapses, but are in fact very different. It's a pretty amazing paper, and this Hillman guy is a pretty amazing fellow, and he's got a website.
Okay. So we will post that in the companion notes below this audio.
So in other words, not only is the disease likely to be nonsense, but it kind of is another one of the blind alleys that people are going down in medical science.
Mm-hmm. Now, up until this moment, you have not looked into the relationship between ALS and the ingestion of higher than normal salt. Is that correct?
No, I haven't. I've only just seen this thing pop up in the last few days and watching my relatives pour buckets of ice water on top of themselves.
Right, through the Ice Bucket Challenge. So would you assume, and you're just assuming, that if you ingest more salt, these ALS symptoms would probably just disappear?
Sure, because all of these things are electrical. They're things going wrong with the communication system of the body, which is all electrical, as far as I can know, and no one's disputing these things. Mm-hmm. And the more electrolyte you have in your body, the better things work.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are two other things that most of the commenters, where the pattern kicked in. It was stress, which is like ridiculous because everyone is stressed out. So that to me is you throw that one out. Everyone's stressed out.
Except, Marcus, that some stress shuts down people's digestive systems.
Okay. Then let's bring that in. Let's talk about that.
That stops you from absorbing nutrients, which causes malfunction.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's the quick fix to reduce stress? What's the 1, 2, 3 that anyone would recommend for that?
Yeah, I'd tell yourself that you're calm.
Yeah, that's one of those things that they don't teach you when you're in school, like, you know, how to be happy, how to live your life, you know, how to find a good mate, and how to not be stressed, or how to deal with stress. That's just definitely not taught to anybody growing up. I think it's how you deal with stress rather than your amount of stress that really matters. Mm-hmm. I think some people are just more practiced at it because they paid attention to it, and that's the way you, even if you have stress, to where you can lead a less stressed life. Mm-hmm.
And I would think that there is no one cure for it either. It all depends on what you use to get rid of stress. It's not necessarily a technique or some sort of procedure that you have to do. It's really what you find works for you, right?
Right. Well, let's talk about things that stress us out. Why not just eliminate those?
Can't eliminate them all. You can eliminate, like things like news and fake stories, but not necessarily jobs.
Mm-hmm. No one else has any thoughts on how to eliminate stress in our life?
Well,
there's a lot of.
You just got to say, "Fuck it." Who cares? Walk away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Go do something else for 10 minutes, and it'll all look better.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
That's the only. Sorry, that's what I think. But yeah.
Yeah. To add to what he just said, was it Jai?
Yes, Jai. J-A-I.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To add to that, something that Adam Carolla says is he says, ask yourself, does it make you money or does it make you happy? And if not, then look the other way. So I think maybe setting your needs and wants in priority and asking yourself what really matters at the end of the day, and that eliminates a lot of the bull that we deal with throughout the day, little tasks and pointless things that we're constantly doing.
Mm-hmm. For me, knowing, and that's all we talk about on this particular talk show, that life is full of hoaxes, so many hoaxes. And I'm so close to saying, yes, everything is a hoax. We live in the Truman Show. And knowing that everything from giving to charity to 9/11 to experts and gurus, doctors and dentists, it's all a hoax. There's no need for them. There's absolutely no need, literally, to go to a doctor or dentist. Some would even suggest that you don't even need to go to a hospital. If Chris Kendall and I, from Hoaxbusters call, we were talking about, do you really need to go to a hospital if you break a leg? Now, I even fell for that. I'm like, of course, you break a leg. I don't know how to fix a leg. If you let it sit there, it's probably going to, remain crooked, and fuse together crooked. And he was talking about at least one case, maybe several cases, where someone broke their leg hiking on the Appalachian Trail or something like that. And the body automatically, what's that when it gets bruised? It swells. It automatically swelled around the break, and it reset the bone back perfectly. And he knew that because when he went to the hospital, the doctor took a look, I guess, at the x-ray, and the doctor's like, you're good. You don't need anything. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? I broke my leg. He goes, no, your body, I don't know what happened, but it's fine now. It's perfectly set. And it really does make you wonder if the body can literally heal itself on its own without the help of these greedy fucking bastard doctors who want to monetize everything that seems to go wrong in our lives. And we run to these people because they wear white lab coats and they have these fancy looking diplomas on the wall. And we just run to them because we've been convinced that they know better than we know or our bodies know. It just really makes you wonder.
I think the worst problem, Marcus, is that the doctors, and I know many of them, they're not greedy bastards at all. It's just what they believe. You know, there may be greedy doctors, but in the main, they're people, aren't they, that are making a living from what they think is a caring, contributing way.
Okay, let me fix what I said then. From fucking psychopathic doctors who look at someone who's in pain and gets glee out of it. I know they get glee out of it. That's why they call them here in the States ambulance chasers. They literally are the first people there. Ambulances are the first people on site. Tow truck drivers, the first people on the site of an accident. Because they see dollar signs. That's dollar signs for them. They're psychopaths. And it's psychopathic. You know, let me go a little bit off tangent. I understand, and this may or may not be true, but why let the facts get in the way of a good story, right? I understand that there's a segment of the no vaccination statistics. At the top, a group of people who refuse to give their children vaccinations. Does anyone want to take a guess what group that is?
It's
Christians.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who?
It's doctors, yeah.
That's right, doctors. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it makes a lot of sense. And I understand they're pediatricians, too. So those are children's doctors. The other pattern that I saw, getting back to the commenters, is epidurals. Epidurals are linked to ALS. Anyone want to take a stab on the reason why? I figured Jim likes the epidural thing, right, Jim? Or am I thinking of something else?
You lost me. Yeah, I'm not a chick, so I'm not sure what you mean.
What does that mean? I said epidurals is
an epidural is what they give a pregnant lady to numb her spine so that she can give birth.
Oh, that's right. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of what do you do with your butthole you were talking about?
Are you talking about the salt?
Yeah, with the salt.
Enema.
I'm thinking enema. That's right. Damn. Good catch on that. All right, so epidural, that's right. That's the anesthesiologist gives to a woman when she's about to have a child.
Right.
So,
I haven't done that yet.
Right.
You always have to know the difference between your friends and enemas.
That is correct.
Yeah, maybe if I stuck an epidural on the top of my head and numbed it all the way down, that might be kind of fun. But I don't see any purpose in numbing my spine.
Right. Now that
but the salt thing was I tried putting salt in like a cup. It's like a half a cup of water, putting a tablespoon in that, and using an ear bulb and sticking it up my butt and squirting the salt solution up there in the mornings. And I found it. I got the same energy rush as eating a bunch of salt the same way.
Wow.
Which is different than an epidural. Note to self.
Correct.
Epidural for women, enema for both. All right, so there was the connection between and that makes a lot of sense because once again, you are having an anesthesiologist directly shooting shit into the back of your spine. And once again, if we go back to 8 out of every 10 ALS deaths through autopsy show a virus in the horns of a spinal vertebrae. That makes total sense. Total sense. But is the ALS Association Foundation, whatever the hell they're called, are they talking about this? Hell no. Hell no. Do you know how much money through this Ice Bucket Challenge they've been raising every day? Anyone want to take a guess?
It must be
millions.
Millions, yeah.
$9 million a day.
Yeah.
$9 million a day. And I think that number keeps increasing. It hasn't peaked yet. And if you
There's some awesome videos online of people taking huge buckets of water and dumping them, like dropping the bucket directly on people's heads.
yeah.
Just check that out. It's hilarious. And then I've heard a couple of people have died from it.
There was one, and it's supposed to be a hoax. She didn't die.
No, some firemen were doing like a mass one. I saw it on Yahoo, and there was an accident and somebody got killed. That's what I heard. I hadn't checked up on it.
The one I came across turned out to be a hoax. It was a giant bucket, the ones you use for drinks, and they dropped that on the girl's head.
More people die from ice buckets hitting their head than who die from ALS. No one laughed at that. All right.
Not bad.
Who invented the Ice Bucket Challenge? I will post an excellent Slate.com article that traces it. Believe it or not, it actually goes back to teenagers in France who put it on YouTube. So this bullshit that some guy with ALS here in the States was the guy who started it, total bullshit. Once again, it's always a lie. Why do these people lie all the time? It's amazing. Anyway, the bottom line is you don't. No one has nominated me to do the Ice Bucket thing, and it doesn't matter because I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna send a penny to the ALS Foundation. Fuck you, you scam piece of shit charity. I'm tired of these charities. Of course, no one will say what I'm saying because it is so politically incorrect to say so. But they are scams. Let's do this. Let's end up on this one. Highest paid CEOs charities. 2013, last year, right? Top 25 compensation packages. This is from CharityWatch.org. I will post a link to this also, as I always do. There you go. Let's take a look, shall we? Okay. Peter T. Scardino, you piece of filth shithead. $2.2 million for the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Say that 5 times fast. 2.2 million. Why does someone need to make $2.2 million where you could literally set up a PayPal account and they have a charity thing built into it? You don't need an administrator for that. Michael Friedman, MD, City of Hope, $1.4 million a year. And that's his salary. I'm not even talking about stock bennies and benefits. Edward J. Benz Jr., Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in the Jimmy Fund. Kenneth Guidera, Shriners Hospitals for Children, 1.3. Our good Freemason friends right there. Includes $39,936 in retirement and other deferred compensation. Rabbi Yechiel Eckstein, International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, $1.2 million. And one more. Edwin J. Fulner, Jr., the Heritage Foundation, $1.1 million. What the hell? Oh, these are philanthropic organizations, too. It's insane. And this is what we've been tricked all of our lives into doing. All of our lives, from the Red Cross to the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army, I'll post a link to that, is one of the biggest scams going. And their public relations department wants you to believe that they're the best. Out of all the charities, they're the best. They give the most towards programs. They hire slaves to ring the bells. Not all of them, most of them. I've actually spoken to them. They've admitted that they work 7.35 hours a day. They get 3 hots and a cot. That's their compensation. And they ring the bell all day long. They have a sheet. And they are, depending on their take, depending on how much money they bring in, they get better locations. I don't know what bonus. They get little bonuses, I think, little minor bonuses. So if they're doing a really good job, they get to move up to a different grocery store. 3 hots and a cot, that's their compensation. It's stunning. Anyway, rant over.